can't be beat, that's my Bahama land, yeah. Friends in every place, a smile on every face. Children at play, time with family today. Someone fill my plate, homemade bread, I can't wait. I can't get enough, I will always stay in touch with my Bahama land, yeah.
Rare Voice introduces Bahamaland, an unlimited nationwide calling plan for only $5 a month. So call home today and connect again with Bahamaland. Home never felt so close.
My Bahama land, yeah.
A murder suspect gunned down outside his home. The Prime Minister leads a delegation to Andros. Find out why. A local foundation helps heal a child's heart, plus a dynamic program helps students tune into reading. Those stories and a whole lot more coming up tonight. I'm Monique Toot, and NB12 starts now. Top news tonight, an alleged murder suspect was shot and killed in his driveway this morning. Police say they discovered the victim's body in front of his home off Soldier Road after responding to reports of multiple gunshots being fired in the area. Dana Smith has the details.
The victim was wearing an electronic monitoring ankle bracelet and was out on bail for murder. The victim may have been walking to or from his home, police say, when two vehicles pulled up and one of the occupants opened fire.
He was walking here on Emmanuel Way when persons pulled up in I believe a silver Honda Civic type vehicle, followed by, we believe, a red SUV. A male exited this vehicle and discharged several shots in his direction, fatally wounding him.
The incident took place around 8:45 in the morning. Roll said the victim was shot multiple times and died in the driveway of his Emmanuel Drive home, located off Soldier Road. As neighbors and curious onlookers crowded the streets surrounding the scene, Roll confirmed the identity of the victim to the press.
We know this male to be David Cunningham Cooper, a.k.a. Crockett. Yeah, he was wearing a bracelet.
Police confirmed the victim, who was in his 30s, was out on bail for a charge of murder. However, Rolls stressed he did not want to speculate on the victim's personal character. He said every loss of life is taken seriously by police. A local resident of the area said he did not see what happened, but heard several gunshots as he was out in his yard hanging laundry to dry.
Couple us outside and all I hear is the shots, and we start counting this in 1, 2, 3, 4. We count like 8 shots. I said, Lord, they busting shots again. I hope there ain't nobody, because a lot of young people dying now, you know.
The victim's aunt was also on the scene. Although she did not want to appear on camera, she said Cunningham Cooper came from a loving family. She said he was well loved and had just lost his mother 3 months ago. Roll said police already have leads as to who could be responsible for the victim's death, but officials still plea for anyone with information to come forward.
Received some bleeds so far. Not at liberty at this stage, though, to talk about that publicly, but we still need to just make that appeal for anyone who may have information.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
Although police on the scene said the victim died in the driveway of his home, a woman claiming to be the owner of that residence called our news team to say the victim died in that yard, but he does not live there. The woman, who did not want to be identified, also added she does not know the victim. A 21-year-old man whose motorcycle crashed into a pole and garbage container Monday night has died. Police say the victim was riding along Montrose Avenue on his Honda 650 trail motorcycle when he got into an accident with a silver vehicle. The motorcyclist then reportedly lost control of his bike before crashing into the pole and garbage container. He was taken to hospital in a private vehicle Monday night, but succumbed on Tuesday to serious injuries sustained during that accident. Investigations continue. Prime Minister Perry Christie today calling it a new day in North Andros during a tree planting ceremony to mark the first of many varieties of crops that will be cultivated and harvested by Bahamians to make the Bahamas more self-sufficient.
In an effort to make Andros and Abaco the breadbaskets of the Bahamas, Christie pledged $20 million to turning this 20 acres of land into a prosperous vegetable and livestock farm, which in the next 5 years could meet 60% of the country's demand.
Let's just assume that the contracts amount to 20 million. I thought it was about 23. But let's assume 20 million. Added to the contracts that have already been given out here, starting works, big works on the campus, the works being going on now. Therefore, there is no question as to the impact on employment. And let me tell you, what always was in my mind, always was my dream, that around this agricultural and marine institute established here in North Andros will grow the city of North Andros. And that's what's going to happen.
Christie says the mandate of the institution will reach beyond North Andros, and with plans to build a packing house on the island, which will accommodate the produce grown by the institution and farmers, career opportunities and revenue generation are on the horizon. The Bahamas imports up to $1 billion worth of food stock annually, a bill the government hopes will be reduced significantly over the next few years. Christie says with the potential to sell to hotels, whose guests constantly make requests for locally grown produce, the Bahamas could diversify its economy and become less dependent on the tourism and financial services industries. Christie said the government will ensure that the trade regime protects this country's agricultural industry.
Every country that has been serious about agriculture first ensures that its local markets have preferential treatments. This is so in the Mercosur, in the Eastern European Union, and of course in our closest neighbor, the United States of America. So our trade policy must take account of what we are embarking upon in our agricultural sector. And it must be prepared to take the necessary steps going forward to protect our local markets and to ensure that our locally grown products have equal access to international markets.
Christie says the government will soon be able to present to the public a new land policy to ensure macro land use is for the purpose of agricultural endeavors. BASME officials say the first harvest could be ready by as early as September, and they're weeks away from bringing in over 200 livestock. Reporting from North Andros, Royston Jones, NB12.
The economy and crime have been priorities of the Christie administration since it came to office, with the introduction of a fiscal consolidation plan to get public finances in order. However, State Finance Minister Michael Halkitis today pointing out that the problems the country is facing now were 21 years in the making. Christina McNeil has more in this report.
Despite strides government has made to place public finances on more sustainable footing, Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis today acknowledging that the system managing the public purse is flawed. In the House of Assembly today, he put his comments in perspective, conducting a review of public finances over the past 21 years.
If we say from 1993 straight up to 2014, in some of those years, there were booming years. Things were going well, but still, revenue coming in to the government was not sufficient to run the government. And I wanted to do it across administrations, you know, because some people like to point fingers and say, well, you all like to spend money, and you all like to waste, right? And you all ain't know what you all doing, and you all incompetent, and all the things they say. But across 5 administrations. So obviously, Mr. Speaker, structurally, something is wrong that we need to look at.
Looking at government finances from 1993 to what is projected for 2014, Halkitis says it is clear that the country's fiscal state is not political. Rather, he says the country's fiscal woes span 5 administrations, both Free National Movement and Progressive Liberal Party.
In every single year, except 4. So for 17 out of those 21 years, Mr. Speaker, the government of the Bahamas has spent more to run the government than it took in. 21 years, we've run deficits in 17 of them. I mean, that's just to run the government.
Recurrent revenue describes the money it takes to run the government. It includes items like rent, interest payments, and other government obligations. Reviewing the figures over the past 21 years, Halkitis says it has increasingly cost more and more money to run the government.
The numbers are getting bigger, Mr. Speaker. The numbers are getting bigger. So when you had a deficit of $13 million in 1993, 6 in 94, 32 in 95, when you get to 2000, 2002, 2003, you got up to 117. Then 2003, 2004, 131. When you get to 2009, you're up to 237. So for those 21 years, Mr. Speaker, in total, just to run the government, we've come up short $1.3 billion.
In the 2013-2014 mid-year budget, government outlined a medium-term fiscal consolidation plan, the aim of which was to rein in public spending and increase revenues. Based on the latest figures, Halkitis says the plan has yielded positive results so far.
For the first quarter of this fiscal year, the deficit has been reduced. Up to November, the latest reports from the central bank, it's been reduced further. Still running a deficit, but moving, we think, in the right direction. A lot of work left to be done, Mr. Speaker, particularly in the area of recurrent expenditure because the demands continue to rise on the government.
At the recent Business Outlook, the Prime Minister gave an overview of activity going on around the Bahamas to create employment and increase economic activity. Those efforts include capital works programs and the government's housing program. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.